The Mini Countryman and Audi Q2 are two of the freshest compact SUVs to hit the premium end of the market, bubbling with personality and similarly style conscious in their interpretations of the same idea. But which one of these high-riding, urban-dwelling hatches offers the best balance of driver appeal, value for money and practicality? It's second-gen Countryman versus all-new Q2. The first Mini Countryman that debuted back in 2011 never quite lived up to practicality expectations. This Countryman is a completely new car and the biggest vehicle to ever carry a Mini badge. It's more than 20 centimetres longer than the old one, and the back seat is now properly roomy, meaning it has genuine usefulness as an SUV, and is much more than just a jacked up mini hatch. The Countryman also stacks up well from a value point of view, with a comprehensive list of standard equipment even in the base model we have here. It's the Mini's retro-inspired styling that might not be to everybody's liking, and Audi's designer baby uses that angle to muscle in on the Countryman's niche. The Audi Q2 is thoroughly modern and stands out from the crowd with its sculpted and distinctively detailed bodywork. Its functionality falls short of the Minis with a smaller back seat and boot, and a much higher price tag for equivalent equipment marks it down. But from a driver's point of view, it's the Q2 that feels closer to the go-kart ideal traditionally championed by Mini. From its brilliant driving position and the sweetness of its steering, you notice the Q2's sportier edge from the moment you start driving. Its 1.4 litre four-cylinder engine has just 30 Newton meters more than the Countryman, but its delivery makes the gap feel bigger than that, even though the difference on paper is only slight. Paddle shifters on the steering wheel add to the Q2's driver appeal, but its ride is on the firm side, especially in this Edition 1 spec, which comes with bigger 19-inch alloy wheels that telegraph a lot of little road imperfections into the cabin. When up and running on a smooth road, the tautness of the Q2 does give it a confidence and a composure. It's more hatchback-like in its dynamics than the Countryman, which is impressive considering this base model's torsion beam rear end. Only the higher spec petrol and diesel Quattro models get a more sophisticated, independent setup. The Q2's dual clutch gearbox is quicker between changes than the Minis, but it's occasionally lurchy at low speeds and can get frustrating in traffic. The car is also noisy inside from the road rather than the engine, which is another unfortunate symptom of those sporty, low-profile tyres. It's a bit more relaxed here in the Countryman. The Mini has a less overt sportiness than the Audi and a more compliant ride, which rear seat passengers will be especially thankful for. It's not quite as chuckable or as direct as the Audi, but it's still good fun on a twisty road. In a straight line, the Q2 has the Mini beaten, but there's less between them in terms of outright driver enjoyment. Where the Q2 is a sharper driver's tool, the Mini's suppler ride allows it to carry more speed on bad roads, and it's less compromised than the Audi in terms of passenger comfort. There are no paddle shifters in the Countryman, but the gearbox does have a sports mode. Its steering doesn't quite have the finesse of the Audi, but an independent rear suspension gives it a liveliness and an interactivity when cornering. And this pokey little 1.5 litre 3-pot is characterful and willing to work hard without an overly intrusive engine note. While the Q2 is totally on brand and a cut above from a dynamic and styling perspective, its high price and iffy packaging leave it trailing the Mini's all-round ability. Then there's the huge list of things found standard in the Mini that cost extra in the Audi, including some active safety systems, keyless entry and push-button start, a powered tailgate, rear air vents, a sliding rear bench, and the list goes on. Such a value difference more than makes up for the Mini's softer than expected dynamics, and the Countryman solidifies its win on the strength of its ride comfort and excellent cabin space. For buyers stepping up to a premium alternative out of a mainstream baby SUV like the Mazda CX-3, it's the Countryman that will satisfy expectations best. So it's the Mini by a nose in this hard-fought tussle.